Um, so I created uh, an ARC map, haha, an ARC map MXD. I created a geodatabase, and the first thing I did was add the world base layer so that the properties, the coordinate system here is that Webb Mercator auxiliary sphere. And so that is the projection, the coordinate system of the base map, and so because it's the first thing I put in, it's the coordinate system of my data frame. So I'm going to create a new feature class called editing. Feature data set, thank you. A feature data set called editing. And I'm going to choose, I was hoping that wouldn't show up already. I want to choose the projection of the data frame. So I can open up layers, and it will show me the only layer I have is this, so I can just pick that as my projection. And then just say next, finish. So anything I create here in this feature data set is going to have that projection. So I'm going to create a feature class called ground, and I'm going to call it, oops, no space, call it ground cover or cover type. And it's a polygon. And then I can create my attribute fields now. This is a good time to do that. I can do it later as well if I think of something. But let's just say I want one called type. And it's going to be text. And I want one called acres, A-C-R-E, acres. And I'm going to make that float. And then I want to do one ownership. And I'm going to make that a coded, text for private or BLM or whatever. Okay, so I've got that set. I can finish that. And this feature class is automatically added to my table of contents. And if I open that, you're going to see that I have my field names, but there's no data created, right? So nothing is here yet. And that will happen when I begin to edit. So I created a bookmark called Farm 1. So this is the farm that I want to edit. I'm going to go ahead and close that. And the closer I can get, the more accurate my editing is going to be. And let's see, I'm going to turn editor off. And what else is on here? I don't think anything else. No, okay. So to start editing, you can activate the editor toolbar either this way or just use that pencil to activate it. And there's my editor toolbar. Everything's grayed out because I haven't started an editing session. So I'm going to start editing. And okay, so because I only have one layer, I didn't get a message. If I'd had 3 or 4 feature classes, I would have gotten some kind of message that I have all of these options. Which one did I want to edit? But I only have one. And at the end of the editor toolbar, I see all of these tools. Sometimes they pop up on their own, and sometimes they do not. So if I click on this, that's my sketch properties, or this. Where'd it go? Okay, where are we here? There we go. Okay. There's my attribute editor. Okay. This worked so beautifully a few minutes ago. Okay, so I'm going to close search. There we go. Whew. So what I see here is cover type, right? So that's in my Create Features dialog box. When I click this, I get an option of some construction tools. And the, where was the feature? Oh, feature type. So when she talks about organizing templates, I can go in here and open up the properties, and I can decide that my default tool is going to be the circle tool or the rectangle tool. So I can choose that as my default if I want. I can't change that here, so I don't even know why I would do this. Oh, I can also set up a default type. So let's say the type is crop, and that's going to be 90%. So why do I want to type that in every time? So I could just set that up and say, okay, you know, and most of this is private ownership. So I can set that ahead of time. I can change it if I need to later. I'm going to apply that, close that template properties. All right, close that. And so now I'm ready to digitize. And when I think about this, I don't want to start in the middle because I want to be able to kind of enforce some topology as I go. So I might start with my first one as a polygon. And there's this nice little magnifier that I can use to kind of click on these things. Whoops, kind of a nice little magnifier. And one of the things I usually do is I make this hollow. I forgot to do that because sometimes it just gets hard to see through. There are options for curve tools that if you wanted to actually put in that curve, you could switch the tool in the middle and choose the curve. So I'm just going to double click and call that one good, or right click and end it. So there's my first polygon. If I open up my attribute table, I'm going to see something in there now. So there's my first polygon. It defaulted to crop and the owner was private. And it gave me my shape area in probably meters, I don't know. But I can change that. Here's the attribute table. So I can choose that and say, no, it's not really crop, it's dirt. So there we go. So I can make a change on that one after the fact if I want. So now I've got my first polygon. If I don't like it, I can just hit delete and get rid of it. And then I want to go back to create features. So here I could use my autocomplete. So if I click the autocomplete polygon and go back to my window, let's go here, and I click inside this polygon, and that's, actually I've got snapping on here so you can kind of see that jump to that corner. And if I click there, whoops, here, 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 and inside here, it auto-completes on that edge. And then I can look here, and my second one is crop, and it's just filled in with my defaults. And then to do this one, it would have to be here, 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 and that should finish that one. So if you get this kind of in a system, you can kind of just march your way through Georgia. I feel like Sherman, right? There you go. And I shouldn't have any gaps in here. I should be able to, see, there's a problem, right? So I didn't do it. So I don't, let me see if I can do this. Oh, nice. So I can just kind of walk through this and digitize. But let's say there's this nice little pond in the middle here. Okay. And I'm going to create that pond with a little circle. There's my pond. There we go. So if I have the pond and I use my editor arrow and my shift key, I can click them both. And then in my editor, I can apparently not clip that. I should be able to clip that. Yeah, why is it not letting me clip that? Okay, let me do this. Maybe I only want to have the first one. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to clip that with no buffer tolerance. And now what I have is a separate polygon here that is the circle, which is really not it. And I can call that pond. There we go. So there we have a pond. And now what's really fun is I can go to my properties. Yes, ma'am?
Why did you have to clip it?
Because I didn't want them to overlap, because my pond polygon was actually over that field polygon, and so it was doubling that area. So if I wanted to know the area of that field for fertilizer, I would actually be not accurate, right? So I would be doing that. So a lot of cute little tools. The other thing that I find really useful in, let's say, buildings. So let's say I have another feature. Really? I don't like you at all. Let's find a better house over here. Did anybody build a complex house out in the... No. Oh, wait. There's a very complex house. How about that? All right. Okay. That's as good as it's going to get. Okay. So one thing I could do is to create some polygons and then merge those polygons into one feature. Oh, did that not close? There we go. So if I do that, and then I, go here, and I merge them, they become one. So sometimes when I have like all these little extremities out there, it's easy to just kind of put them together, right? Another thing, where did it go? Advanced editing. So, is that where, did I just close it off? Come on. Is it here? Where is my, I wanted to be able to rotate. I don't know where my rotation tool is. I'll have to look for that, because there is a way that I can change my map. So watch what happens when I want to use the rectangle tool, because I know that, or I'm assuming these things have 90-degree angles, right? And it's difficult to, so that one was good. And that one was good, but let's say this is an outshed, right? And it's a little harder sometimes to create 90-degree angles on my image. So you can rotate this whole view so that it's completely level. And I'll just put a little video up on how to do that. So one of the things that when people were digitizing city buildings and blocks for getting city footprints, they would rotate that wherever they were, they would rotate the image a little so that everything was just completely north-south square when they digitized with the with their digitizer. So there is a way. So let's say I want to, hold on. Freehand lets me just kind of draw what I want to draw. There you go. So now this would be kind of one of those loops that they talked about never having. And then there is a way to stream, but she'll show you. Streaming works kind of like the freehand tool, but, that's kind of a mess. Okay, we're going to get rid of that and get rid of that. And I can, I think, undo. Just the last step. Let's look at edit, undo, create. Oh, that's nice. As long as I haven't saved it. Nice. I can kind of do that. So the streaming feature lets me decide how close I want my vertices to be. And so then it works a little bit like freehand, but you have control on how many vertices are put down as you kind of move your hand around.
How are you controlling that? By clicking the mouse?
I'm not doing it. I'm just moving the mouse.
So how do you determine the frequency of the vertices?
That's with the streaming tool, which I cannot find right now. But no, that's fine. But Price will show you how to get there. Okay. So there's just so many options, and for me, I don't like the freehand or the streaming tool. Yeah. Uh-huh. Ooh. Let's, yeah. I don't know. That's a great question. I don't think so. I think it just does exactly where you are. The where is the? I don't see the circle. Oh, that's for lines. Yeah. When you have lines, you can do the arcs on lines. So let's say you have a curvy street, and you want to do the edges of a sidewalk or the edges of a patio. The curve tool works really well with that. So basically, she's going to have you go through and digitize complex polygons using some of these features, and then you might want to play around, like jump ahead and look at some of the autocomplete and the streaming tools and take a look at those as well. And then in that example of multiple polygons, sometimes to do it in pieces, and then merge them together when you're done works really well. So, and the other thing is when you're in and let's see, you're doing a large polygon and you get to the edge here, I can use the hand tool, move it over, go back to here, and then I'm back in, or I can use this and move down. So the navigation tools still work, as you move around your field. So they should do fine. Yeah. Oh, data view, yeah. Oh, nice. And they used to have this little editing box that would jump up. I just noticed it's gone. And you would have to move it all the time because it was in the way of where you wanted to work. But it is gone. You can, let's say I do this and I don't like that. I can delete that vertice by right-clicking, so I can go back. This is where you would access those change directions and all the other tools. Here's streaming. So here's streaming, and you can see if I leave streaming to the default, how many vertices that you have on here. And so in the options, you can set that so that it would. So let's say I've got a polygon and somebody sent me this to work on, right? And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the base layer. It's already done. And I'm going to start an editing session. And I go in here and I notice that they're off. So I've got to move that. So if I click this and double click it, I get the vertice will pop up and I can just move that where I need it to go. But what you notice now is that I've completely messed up that topology that originally, because I'm not enforcing topology rules, I could lose that completely, right? So that looks still good. Nice. And again, you can see that now is a vertice between those two where I edited that, but there's only one vertice. So she'll have you edit existing polygons. She'll have you create your own, and working through that, which will give you great practice for your park. Okay. Any questions? I'm sure there's lots of questions, but I think this is just something that you work through and you'll get it.